Yes. His, at the credit union, they give us the packet, but they're not bound like this.
I know.
And then they'll have these little tabs. And so I have a lot of these, and I mark them myself. But of course, we don't have this many items either. We might have about 7, putting the date in.
Pretty much entered it.
The only thing she's got to do now is I can ankle and trace it, but I can't do hair unless we shoot tomorrow. And then I'll run a new one.
Is Pastor Jesus Mesa in the house? No? Deacon, would you be able to? At 6:30, we'll go ahead and get this regular council meeting for Tuesday, July 9th of 2024. Mari, we have roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mayor Alvaro Arreola,
Here.
Councilman James DeRuse,
Here.
Councilman J.P. Sanchez,
Here.
Councilwoman Ernestina Martinez,
Present.
Councilman Jesus Lopez Jr.,
Present.
Councilman Randy Quinones,
Here.
Councilwoman Carmen Gutierrez.
Here.
Mayor, you do have a quorum.
At this time, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and pledge allegiance to the Texas flag and remain standing for the invocation done by Deacon Mario Garcia from St. Joseph Church.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, and one and indivisible.
If we could please bow our heads in reverence. Lord Father in heaven, we thank you for this day, for this wonderful gift of life that you've given us. Give us the knowledge, Lord, open our hearts and our minds to understand that the decisions made tonight are for the betterment of our brothers and sisters in this community of Del Rio. Give us the knowledge as well, Father, that these things we make for the better of all. Give us wisdom. Give us insight into those things that are difficult to make, but always true to you, Lord. Lord, we give you thanks for all things that come to us, because all things are good that come from you, Lord. And we ask that all those that travel and come from other places have a safe travel home. We ask this through your Son, our Lord, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
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 The next item is 5, citizens' comments. Any citizen wishing to speak during citizens' comment regarding an item on or off the agenda may do so after registering on the required sign-in sheet prior to the start of the meeting. All comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Topics of operational concerns shall be directed to the city manager, and comments should not personally attack other speakers.
Speaker number 1, George Solis.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to address the City Council. What I'm talking about tonight is going to be the $80,000 for Molcajete. It's like thanks to the 830 Times and other sources, I saw that you were going to go into an executive session with this tonight. And I'm glad that you all tabled and are going to take a second look at it. I want you all to know that I'm not against it. I'm not against what the decisions you make as a board or a city council. It's just the timing of it and the optics of it are just not good. I have daughters who are managers at businesses, and they've got workers that are working 2 or 3 jobs just to make a living, and they're paying taxes, and we're just going to give it to a business. It doesn't make a lot of sense in my book. Of course, this is just my opinion. I've talked to other friends who own businesses, and they want to know, when do they get their shot? When are they going to get the $80,000? Why are we, as a city, because I pay taxes here, and I know that because I just got, in the last 2 years, you raised my appraisal value of my house $50,000 so you can get more taxes, but you're going to give it to a business? that got their own loan, decided to take their own risk. It just doesn't seem right. I said it last time, I've served my country for 32 years, and I always made it a point to earn my pay. I didn't just go and fall asleep somewhere. I didn't just go and milk it out, as some people would say. I earned what I was paid, and that's the way I look at this. I used to walk on the creek every day, but it's just gotten too dangerous. And I think to myself, $80,000 for a business, and I can understand why you want to reward people in a business. But I also think $80,000 is going to serve one person or a group of people. But fixing the creek with that $80,000 would serve the whole community. And you're talking about a group of people down there in the barrio that don't have the money to go to like molcajetes. And when I drive by there during those vacations and see those families and how beautiful it is, especially during Easter, 4th of July, and I said, man, this is where the money needs to be spent. And you know, I submitted a request for information from the city on whether they had any plans to fix it, and the response back, and it was by law, that they didn't have to answer my question. What kind of response is that from the city to a citizen who wants to know what the city is doing to benefit the public? We don't have to answer your question. And that's wrong. That's not right. Because all I want to know is how you're going to make it better out there. Because if I read 30 times there was a stabbing out there, why can't we have more patrols? All these things are going on, and I'm running out of time here, but I just like, please take it into careful consideration. Thank you for your time, and God bless you guys. Bye.
Next individual, Steve Webb.
Mayor, Dias, just a couple of things. Number one, I want to thank Mr. Chavez for the job that he does. It's not easy to take over for someone else and try to run the city the way he's been doing. He follows policy, he follows the rules, and he makes sure that everything gets done the right way. My big question, and I put this before the whole dice, what I want to know is why every time he tells somebody no, he ends up on the agenda. This is not the first time. Every time he tells the mayor no, he ends up on the agenda. Why? It's not right. He's doing what's right. I told you last time I spoke, we've got to follow the rules. That's why they're there. We have to do the right thing for the right reasons, and the people that we serve are the reasons we do what we do. If you start backtracking and doing whatever the mayor wants or anybody else wants, it's wrong. Mr. Chavez, you are doing a tremendous job. It's not easy. I know that. I only wish you'd thrown your hat in the ring. But other than that, keep up the good work. You're thinking of the community, not self. Some people think of self, and that's wrong. You're here for the wrong reason. I told you, know your role the last time I was here. And some people still haven't learned it. Thank you.
Next individual, Republic Service, Joe Sapano.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Chavez. Good to be in Del Rio, Texas tonight. My name is Joe Spano. I'm with Republic Services. I come out of our San Angelo office tonight to come and say hello to you folks and just put a little reminder that in about 18 months, which seems like it's a long way away, your current contract, according to our records, with your current hauler and landfill provider is going to be coming up for renewal. And so I'm out here tonight just to let you know that there's another provider here where Republic is the second largest waste and recycle and landfill operators in the country. And we would certainly love an opportunity to speak to the city about what we could do for the city of Del Rio. And so the purpose for coming this early is, in light of where we are in the country, right? There's a lot of lag time in the supply chain still, right? So things are taking a lot longer these days than they did 5 and 6 years ago. And so cities of this size require a lot of capital. They require a lot of employees and things of that nature. There's going to be real estate involved. Obviously, we wouldn't travel 3 hours to pick you up. You know, we would be setting up something right here in Del Rio, Texas. So we would just like the opportunity to start talking to staff here in the coming months. Again, I know it sounds like it's a long way away, but it's really not. And we would just like the opportunity to start talking about what we could do for the city. And hopefully there's an RFP that would be imminent. We would like to see an RFP this year so we could start putting together a plan. And look, if we were lucky enough to do business with the city of Del Rio, it would take a little time for us to meet the deadline of 2026. So anyway, that's why I'm here tonight again. It's Joe Spano, Republic Services. And if you don't mind, I would like to leave a few cards. And if anybody would like to discuss it further in the future, I'm certainly be available. So thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, sir. Next individual, Scott Cortese, leadership.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Interim City Manager. I'd like to start with a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never know victory nor defeat. Next thing I'd like to mention is 5 characteristics that a leader should possess to achieve success and inspire confidence in their leadership abilities. Took this from Arden University. Decisiveness, the ability to make decisions, particularly when under pressure. Trustworthiness, presenting yourself as a credible leader who is always transparent and equitable. Empowerment of others. You feel as though you need to be perceived as the expert in all areas, but your employees are your employees for a reason. They're experts in their respective fields, and as a leader, it's important to trust that they will deliver. Clear communication. A strong leader should use clear communication to ensure that everyone within their team or organization understands what they should be aiming for, as well as using language to motivate and inspire their employees to reach their full potential for their own benefit, as well as the organization's. Resilience. A great leader must always be prepared to get back up each time they get knocked down. Being in a position of authority does not come without its challenges, so it's crucial not to dwell on short-term failures and instead focus on the learnings you can take away for future reference. So last, I'd just like to say, Mr. Chavez, thanks for being a leader.
Next person, Alexander Falcon Calderon.
Good evening, Council, Ms. City Attorney, Mr. Chavez, and Mayor Arriola. Yes, I'm going to start with some items that you guys have in executive session. There's 3 and pertaining to the EDC. A reminder for those that do know and those that don't, please look at what type B in the EDC is all about, because it was voted from the community during the election of May 22, the year 22. For any type B project, there always needs to be a public hearing, always. That's against state laws if not done, at least one. Was it done for the Texas Roadhouse? Was it done for Mondragon? Was it done for Molcajetes? So that's to think about once you go into executive session also. And as for the EDC bylaws in section 3.06, for those that have not looked at those bylaws, EDC have bylaws. I suggest you obtain a copy. Conflict of interest, it's there. You have items in executive session that pertain to a local area here in Del Rio, and that is the Plaza del Sol Mall. They both shall abstain from discussion and voting thereof. And who are those both? The city mayor, Al Arriola, and the EDC director, Jorge Ramon. That's also to consider when you go to executive session. Now, with the interim city manager, Mr. Chavez, you came in when there was and is still a mess in the EDC department. I left council in May 14 of this year, and I was very aware of all the things that have been and still continue. Unfortunately, John Shady, our former city manager, is not here to face those, but we have Mr. Chavez, who has done a tremendous job to try to do the right thing by not breaking laws. And I am grateful that I know Mr. Chavez for many years and worked with him. So I'm freely saying that because it's my experience working with him. Now, this is in also the bylaws of the EDC in section 6.01. Look at them, because it will tell you about what Mr. Chavez should do and does. Thank you.
Bruno Lozano.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and distinguished council. I'd like to just first and foremost thank Ms. Esme and Mr. Ojeda for being at the 5K that was collaborated with the city of Del Rio. We had an excellent turnout, and we look forward to collaborating on behalf of Del Rio PTSD awareness to collaborate in the next year's 5K. Most importantly, the reason why I'm here, as previously mentioned in previous city comments, is the concerns that I have for the distribution of $80,000 to a private entity here in Del Rio. As stewards of public funds, having served on council for 4 years, it is imperative that we properly vet the distribution of public funds. And I want to reiterate the fact, the importance of the processes that are in place to properly vet these funding sources. If we do not properly vet these funding sources and end up distributing funds, there are severe consequences to be at hand. I want to reiterate for those new members on council, you haven't gone through a budget cycle yet. And you might have a feel-good moment temporarily if you so-called do the right thing and protect an individual who was given improper information to access these funds. I think Christian is a great person, and he's very advantageous for advocating for his own personal business. But you are stewards of public funds. If you make a consequential decision today, you may not see the repercussions in this budget cycle. But as previous cycles can attest, if you're not looking 3, 5, 4 years down, 10 years down into the pipeline, you're going to send the city to a cliff. And we're all going to jump in onto that cliff and beyond that cliff together as a society. It is imperative that you are prudent and understand what previous members on citizens' comments just mentioned as to the dire consequences and the severity that this will cause and the repercussions that could be at hand if you continue this path. And Mr. Mayor, I've been here a year ago asking for the vision of you, what your vision is for the community. We were just mentioned $80,000 to go directly to the San Felipe Creek. When I was on the dais, we funded $1.5 million for the improvement of that creek. I ask you, council, what is the vision that you carry forward, especially to your newcomers? It is imperative that you vote consciously and not just through feelings. Feelings may feel good, but they're very fleeting. Take it from somebody who sat in that dais before. And I am not above the law. I have served, I have understood. Every single one of us in elected positions carry that as well. Thank you.
Okay, we are now on item number 6, Mayor Council Public Announcements. Item
Hey,
6.
stop you right there. This is Mayor's comments, right? First of all, I want to thank Esme Mesa, Lino Hernandez and staff, Peter Ojeda and staff, Parks, and the police department for a great 4th and 5th of July. You guys did tremendous. I think everything out there was to the point, and everything was really a spectacular night and day. I also want to remind the citizens that this council is listening to the concerns and are fully aware of everything that's happening. On my 2 years as mayor, and I think it's already been brought up, we have brought a lot of things to administration, but the focus had diverted into other things. Number one that we had to address was our water lines, the replacement of all water lines. I understand it's contamination. We have never gotten a report. Number two, replacement of lights around the city. We're getting darker and darker and darker. There's got to be a plan out there that brings this in light and bring it to us. The third thing was, and I think previous talker a few minutes ago mentioned our creek. If there's 1.5 out there, we haven't seen it. There is a lot of things that need to be improved, along with the restrooms there. We were having an event for the 4th of July. If you guys really gone to those bathrooms, it is not the best of places. We did have toilet paper, but there was no soap for people to wash their hands. When you have over 3,000-4,000 people out there, and there is no soap, and with COVID out there still hitting us, we have to be addressing that. There have to be paper towels there. The dispensers on the actual toilet rolls are on the top or on the ground. The women have to pass the toilet from one place to another. That's unacceptable. I think something that we need to focus, and this is something that the citizens of Del Rio have been saying for the last 3.5, 4 years. We're not focusing on the little things. Our creek is very important. We need to clean the banks that in 1998, it was destroyed, but we never went back to do anything. And we still haven't had a plan to bring to us where we're going. The cleaning of the cane, there is such thing that we're throwing out there, but we still haven't touched anything. The other thing, Joe Ramos, a nutrition center for the elderly. We haven't done anything. Okay? What about the gym? We haven't done anything. You know, and this is where it gets more and more into the points. The citizens of the Rio think we're not listening. Yes, we are. If you go and do a tour of the Boys and Girls Club, we are hosting kids there daily for events. It's not appropriate. This administration and previous administration has seen what's out there. The citizens have been crying in this desperation. It's not just the mayor. It's not the mayor saying this is what we want. That is totally different. Swimming pools. We have 2. We're only operating 1. What's going on, guys? Do we have to go out there and search and find out what's happening? You know, this is where it goes on. And it goes on, and I continue saying, there's this other thing in the 8:30 time brought it out. We're not approving a certain, state-of-the-arts gym. Well, we haven't even touched what we own. And this is where it's frustrating on this council that we have too many things out there that we're still pending on. We're still waiting on studies and surveys and everything that's out there. It's frustrating. You know, yes, some of us have been sitting in the dais and making decisions, but are we doing it for the right reasons? And I'm here, when I ran for this, it was on the community service, not to put my name out there, but to do the right thing. The other thing that I want to mention, and this is hopefully I'm going to say it again, on the Guadalupe, I did vote against it because it was going to be a maintenance operation. We decided to divert and do use it for other things. I still believe that we have to slow down and finish a lot of projects. We haven't even had a final result on our audit. We don't know where we're at on our audit. That's the other thing. We want to stay consistent. We do it. Mr. Chavez is doing a terrific job. I don't even know why you all are saying that he's not. He is. He's moving forward. But I think there's a lot of projects that need to be done. And there's a lot of little things out there that our constituents say they're little, but there's big things that we need to do and improve. what I want to say to this council and to the administration, if we're going to go out and borrow $9.75 million for a new city hall, let's put it back into streets. Let's put it back into parks. Let's put it back where the citizens can see progress in our community. I think that's one of the key things. And I'm sorry, I really wanted to focus and let the community know that this council, all the people around this dais, are really concentrating on the needs of the citizens. Thank you.